Hey friends, I have a super sweet treat for a video for you today. I'm going to be sharing with you 8 delicious dessert recipes. Every single dessert in here, of course, is easy to make, whether you need a dessert to take somewhere or you're just having a little bit of a sweet tooth and want to make something up. There's something in today's video for you. Everything from chocolate desserts to fruit. I promise you're gonna leave wanting to make at least one of these recipes. Grab yourself a coffee or a tea, get snuggled up, and let me share with you these 8 amazing dessert recipes. So to this mixing bowl, I have 1 box of vanilla pudding mix and then 1 box of lemon pudding mix. We're gonna put those both in here. All right, now to those, we're just gonna add 1.5 cups of milk. And I'm using vanilla almond milk, the unsweetened kind. But any kind of milk will work. We're just gonna whisk all that together. All right, once your pudding mix gets thick like that, we're gonna add in some vanilla extract. 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract.
Just eyeball it.
Eyeball it, honey. Next, we're gonna add in 8 ounces of the frozen lemonade concentrate. Obviously, I picked this up from Walmart. This one is 12 ounces, so we're just gonna add about 3/4 of this. And this has been in my fridge for a couple days, thawing out. Lemonade concentrate going in. All right, now we're just gonna whisk again. All right, next we're gonna add about 8 ounces of whipped topping. And I don't know if I've said, but this will actually make 2 pies. And now you just want to fold in your whipped topping. All right, so next I just have a pre-made graham cracker pie crust. And we're just gonna fill that right up. And like I said, this makes 2 pies, and I didn't realize that. So only about 1 crust.
And I have an amazing idea of making.
So I'm gonna tell y'all the ideas we had. One idea Hayden thought of was to make popsicles with this. You could take a muffin tin and just add a little bit to each one and then stick a popsicle stick in there, pop it in the freezer, and then you have homemade lemonade creamsicle popsicles. Or another thing you could do, I have these tiny little jars. And you could just put a little bit of this in there, any jar for that matter, and then sprinkle some graham crackers right on top of that, and you'd have like little individual pies. So that might be an option for a little dinner party or something. I think that would be fun. All right, so let's make our pie a little bit cuter real quick. There you go. Easy, no cook lemonade pie. This is gonna go into the fridge. It says overnight, but a few hours, or you can put it in the freezer. All right, so now it's time for dessert. Let me show you how to make the most delicious Kentucky butter cake. So we're gonna start with a bundt pan that I just greased and floured really well. And then to a large bowl, we're just gonna add some sugar, 4 eggs, and then 2 sticks of butter. Yes, honey, it's called a butter cake for a reason. Next, we're gonna add some rum extract. If you really don't like the taste of rum, you can use vanilla extract. That's probably what most people keep in their pantries anyway. And we're also gonna add some butter extract. Again, if you don't have this, it will be totally fine without it, but I had some butter extract, so added that in. Now we're gonna add some buttermilk. And one thing I do not keep is buttermilk, but I do keep some type of milk and white vinegar, usually in my pantry at all times. So I just add a little vinegar to that white milk, let it sit a minute or 2, and you got buttermilk. So I just whisked everything together, and then next we're gonna add in some flour, some baking soda, some baking powder, and then now I'm just gonna take my whisk and we're just gonna combine everything, just whisking it for a minute or two and scraping down the sides as I go. Next, I'm just bringing over that cake batter and pouring it into the prepared bundt pan, and this bakes at 325 for about 55 to 60 minutes. And while it's in the oven, let me show you this delicious butter glaze that's gonna go on top, okay? So actually, we're gonna make this after it comes out of the oven while it's cooling. You want it to cool about 20 minutes. So over in a small saucepan, I'm just gonna add a little bit more butter, some sugar, and some more of that rum extract. I'm just gonna whisk that together just for a few minutes until all of that sugar melts and incorporates. And then after 20 minutes, we're just gonna pour this glaze right on top of our bundt cake while it's still in the pan. And I did reserve a little bit of this glaze as well that we're gonna pour on the top after we flip it out. And speaking of flipping it out, let me just show y'all how that went.
You broke it.
Darn it! It was going so well.
Oh, I got it.
Where's the rest
Can I
of
just
it?
have it? Can I just have it? Can I just have it?
Oh, look, I mean, it comes out in little pieces, honey. All you do is stick it back on, okay? Put your glaze on there, it still tastes the same. We ain't worried about that at all.
We ain't worried about how it looks. It ain't a presentation.
We ain't
paper.
worried about this. There you go. You all good, honey. You know what that means? When you get a little tear in your cake, that means more room for the glaze to go on it.
Yep.
Can I just eat them? Me and Dad want to eat them, both of us.
And now y'all know why usually I do voiceovers. I normally have 2 or 3 people standing over me wanting the little parts to fall off, or we're just cutting up in the background. But anyway, I'm just pouring that reserved glaze all over the top. And then look, the powdered sugar I dusted over top just covered up that little imperfection, and it was all good. And it really was. It was so delicious, such a moist cake. This would be so perfect for summertime to serve with some fresh strawberries, just like a pound cake. If you've never tried this Kentucky butter cake, I highly recommend it. Just use whatever extracts that you want. But honestly, we love this one just as is. It was so, so delicious. All right, so we're actually gonna be using an 8x8. I don't have a 9x9, but either one of those will work. We're also gonna get some parchment paper in here and just a little bit of cooking spray, just to make sure our brownies pop right out of there. All right, let's get that to the side. All right, so next we just have a large bowl here. To that, we're gonna add 1 cup of sugar. We're also gonna add 1 stick of melted butter. And we are just gonna cream this together until it's combined and it makes kind of a lighter color. A light pale yellow is what we want. All right, next we're gonna add in 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. We're also gonna add 2 eggs to this. All right, eggs going in. Now I'm just gonna give this a stir until everything is combined. All right, I'm gonna bring my mixer back over and I'm gonna slowly add in, we have 1 cup of flour and 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. And you said 1/4 cup. That's funny because did you see that comment the other day where somebody, I think they were from the UK, they said they found it so weird that everybody over here says fourths, like a 1/4 cup, because over there they say 1/4 cup, but we say fourths. I hardly ever say 1/4 cup.
I always say quarter.
1/4 cup. I say 1/4 cup.
1/4 cup, 1/2 cup, 3/4 cup. Or, yeah, 3/4 cup.
See, I say 3/4. Anyway, let us know where you're from and what y'all say. All right, slowly going in, I'm gonna add a little bit of cocoa powder. Probably add in about 1/2 each. Go ahead and give it a mix. All right, y'all, she thick. All right, let's bring our dish back down. Let me grab my other spurtles. All right, now we're just gonna get all of our brownie batter into the pan. And this is another recipe. It seems to be the common theme with these lunch lady recipes we're sharing today. These ingredients are things that you probably always keep in your pantry. I love recipes like that. All right, I'm gonna spread her out a little bit as much as I can. All right, that's about as good as it's gonna get. All right, we already have the oven on 350. This is just going in there for about 20 to 25 minutes or until a toothpick inserted comes out clean. The recipe says do not overbake this. Actually, the recipe says until a toothpick comes out just not wet. So it may not be clean, but you don't want it to come out just raw. All right, so while our brownies are in the oven, we're gonna work on our frosting. In this bowl, I already have 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. To that, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. We're also gonna add 2 tablespoons of just softened butter. And then we're gonna start with about 3 tablespoons of milk. Y'all probably know anytime you're making a frosting, you wanna start with less milk or liquid and add more. It only takes a little bit. All right, we're gonna whisk or mix this up and see what we got. So I'm literally just gonna add a tablespoon of milk. Okay. I don't know about y'all, but that looks delicious. I don't know that I ever had anything like this at school. But
good.
I mean, I would have ate one at school. Somebody offered it to me.
Yeah.
Did you ever eat anything like this at school? You had brownies?
Yeah, they had brownies.
Y'all, we were gonna make I remember one thing from school. We had the oversized cookies. They were almost as big as this bowl right here, y'all. So that's what I remember having at school all the time. But it's a chocolate chip cookie recipe. And we just shared chocolate chip cookies, so I wanted to mix it up. But those were really good too.
We had those cookies too.
So good. Especially when you got a warm one. So good. All right, time to get these frosted up. But the recipe says to frost these while they're warm, and then we're gonna let the whole thing kind of cool together before we slice into them. So the frosting and everything should harden back up. These look incredible. These also remind me of, I maybe had 1 or 2 of these as a kid because they were not that good, but the TV dinners with the brownie in there, that's what it reminds me of.
You know how long it's been since I've had one of them?
I know. We should try to recreate a TV dinner.
Recreate a TV dinner.
We're gonna let this cool. We're gonna go put our bathing suits on, y'all, because we want to go out to the pool. But we'll check back in with y'all here in just a little bit when these are cooled down. All right, y'all. Our brownies have been setting up. Look at that, y'all. That looks delicious. I'm not even a huge brownie fan, and I'm so excited about this.
I love brownies and I'm drooling.
I love brownies. I do like brownies better with a frosting like this. Yum, yum, yum. All right, we have all of our peaches all peeled and chopped up in our bowl. So now we're gonna continue with the filling. This is 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. Dump that right in. We're also gonna dump in 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Next, we have a little bit of lemon juice and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Now let's give all of this a stir. So it's not much liquid in here right now, but when these peaches start to cook down, of course, they're gonna produce their own liquid. It's gonna be nice and sticky and sweet and good. We're also gonna make a crumble topping as well, of course, so I think it's gonna be delicious. All right, let me go grab my pie crust. Now we're just gonna add our filling. All right, so we just moved our pie over to the side. Now we're gonna do our crumble topping. So this is 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, another 1/2 cup of brown sugar, another sprinkle of cinnamon. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a stir before we add in our butter. Get everything nice and incorporated. Next, we're gonna pour in 1/3 cup of butter. I'm gonna give everything a stir, and this should create a pretty thick batter, if you will, because we're gonna literally crumble this on top of our pie. All right, now I'm just gonna take our topping and just crumble it all over the top. This is already so pretty. All right, y'all, I'm gonna grab my baking sheet, but this is going into the oven first at 400 for about 20 minutes, and then we are gonna turn down that oven temperature. But right now, we already have our oven preheated to 400. It's going in there for 20 minutes. All right, our pie has been in there for 20 minutes. Now it says just to turn the oven down while it's still in here to 375. So it's gonna go at an additional 30 to 35 minutes at 375. Our pie is starting to brown up a little bit on top. So I'm just gonna bring it over here and lightly cover it. And then it's just going in there for the remaining time. We have about 20 minutes left on the clock. All right, y'all, we have did the hard part and waited 3 hours for this pie to set up. It looks delicious. Now we're gonna cut into it and serve it up. See how it is. Y'all, look. That feeling, you can definitely see all those fresh peaches in there, that crumble on top. All right. We're gonna serve ours with a little vanilla ice cream on top. So our 3 ingredients for this recipe, we're gonna need about 6 of these Hershey bars. We're gonna need 1 graham cracker pie crust, and then we're gonna need an 8-ounce tub of Cool Whip or whip topping. All right, so I just have a microwave safe bowl here, and I'm just gonna start opening up all of our chocolate bars and kind of break them up as we go. All right, I think I'm gonna save about half a chocolate bar just to use for some garnish later. So I'm just gonna put that to the side. So we have all of our little chocolate bar pieces in here. We're gonna microwave this in about 30-second increments, stirring in between until all of this chocolate is melted. All right, our chocolate is nice and melted. I'm gonna give it just a little stir. Try not to lick the spoon or the bowl, or do whatever you wanna do. And then next, we're just gonna bring over that whipped topping. Just plop all of it in. Then all we're gonna do is stir it together. And I know this seems so simple, but like I said, it's delicious. Just keep stirring until it's nice and consistent and combined. All right, we're just gonna bring over our pie crust. All right, now all we're gonna do is spread everything out. All right, we're gonna go ahead and garnish it so it will stick nice and good. I'm gonna pop it in the fridge, and about 4 or 5 hours, we'll be ready to try this delicious dessert. And this recipe is apple pie taquitos. Tortilla with apple pie filling with butter and cinnamon sugar on the outside. Yes, please. Let's try this. This dessert is so easy. As you can see, we only have about 4 ingredients, and it really takes no time at all. We're gonna use apple pie filling, but you could use any pie filling, really. Any type of fruit that you wanna use for these, anything will be good. So all we're gonna do, I have a tortilla here. I'm gonna place some of our apple pie filling inside. Take it, roll it up just like a taquito. All right, I just have mine with the seam down just to kind of keep them rolled up. Now we're just gonna take some of that melted butter, put it all over the outside. Then lastly, we're just gonna take some of our cinnamon sugar and sprinkle it all over. We get a good bit on there. Put them over to the other side as well. We're gonna preheat the air fryer to 350, and these are only gonna take 8 to 10 minutes, and I am gonna flip these halfway through as well. In the air fryer, look how good these look. They are buttery, cinnamon, sugar, they're crispy on the outside. Got that apple pie, warm, delicious feeling on the inside.
It's delicious.
Y'all, I think I like these better than the apple dumplings with the croissants. These are way better. This is a lemon blueberry cream cheese Danish. To our mixing bowl, we're gonna add that softened cream cheese. We're also gonna add our sugar to that cream cheese. So I did about 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and now we're gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of lemon extract. Now we're just gonna whisk this together until it all becomes really smooth. All right, we're gonna set that to the side. All right, I have my baking sheet. I'm gonna get some parchment paper on here. Here is our puff pastry dough. We're gonna get it unfolded. Take the paper off. And now I'm just gonna cut this into 6 even little sections. Or just 6 not even close to even sections. It doesn't really matter. I'm gonna bring back over that blueberry pie filling. And next is the fun part. We're just gonna take a spoonful, about a tablespoon of that cream cheese mixture. We're gonna spread it out onto each little square. And next we're just gonna go in with another little tablespoon, maybe not quite a tablespoon, of this blueberry pie filling. And by the way, I'm sure y'all figured this out by now. This would be delicious with kind of any combination of pie filling. All right, so I already have my oven at 400. These are going in there for about 15 to 17 minutes. All right, we're gonna make our glaze to go on top of our Danishes. So first we're gonna need some powdered sugar. We're gonna start with a little bit of milk. We can always add more. And we're gonna add about another 1/4 teaspoon of that lemon extract. All right, let's start whisking this together. We might need to add a little bit more milk. This might be just right. All right, y'all, our Danishes are out of the oven. They look delicious. I'm just gonna let these cool for a few minutes until they're actually pretty nice and cool before we put that glaze on so it doesn't melt off. But these already look so good. All right, I think our Danishes have cooled enough to add this glaze. Y'all, this looks so, so good. And lastly, we're just gonna put a few toasted almonds on top, a little bit of crunch. And tonight I'm making brownie pie. And like I said, this comes from our church cookbook, and it was actually put in there by my grandmother. So first you start with a Betty Crocker Supreme Walnut Brownie Mix. It's that specific. And you use 3 eggs. So the directions say you just use the box directions, but you add 3 eggs instead of 1. And that just does something to the brownies. It makes them kind of crispy on the outside, but still really soft and kind of more dense on the inside. It's really good. So y'all have to let me know if you try it, how you like it. So I'm just mixing up those brownies. I'm going to add them to my little brownie pan, and those are going to go into the oven. And while that is working over on the stove, I'm just going to prepare this chocolate pudding mix. And again, the recipe specifies not to use instant. You have to use this cooked kind. So that's what I'm doing. It came out a little bit lumpy, which y'all will see in a second, but it tasted perfectly fine. It was delicious. So once the brownies came out of the oven, I'll show y'all how they kind of look. You can kind of tell that crispiness I was talking about, but that's just on the outside. It's really unique, so definitely give this a try. But once the brownies and the pudding cooled, I just added that pudding on top of there, and then you're gonna take 1 small carton of Cool Whip, add that on top, and then drizzle the top with some chocolate syrup. My grandmother has added more walnuts or even almonds on top. You can do that if you'd like, or even some sprinkles, but I just added the chocolate syrup, and this is so easy, but y'all, it is really so good. I hope you give this one a try. If you do, let me know, tag me, whatever it is, and let me know how you like it. Just a different and good spin on some good old brownies. As always, if you made it this far in the video, don't forget to say hey down in the comments. I would love to hear from you, see how you're doing, and let me know which of these dessert recipes you're thinking about trying first. You really can't go wrong with any of them. I hope you're all having an amazing week. Right here on the screen is a seconds video for you. I'll see you over there, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, y'all.